Hey, what's up, all? Wardrobe here. Talking about war stories from Year Zero, using the Year Zero engine by Firelock Games. It's a role-playing game set in, you guessed it, World War II. Just recently came out, the Kickstarter a few months ago, and it's starting to come out, and you saw a lot of role players doing it, and I think you're going to see a little bit few more gamers. I think Kev's getting it, so he'll get a lot of hits, and a lot of people will see it more there than here. But I just want to let you guys see it, and I have not played it. I've only kind of perused it quickly, so I'm not going to really be able to do much in depth. Just want to show you. And I guess more than anything, they have a free version, quick start. It's like 40 pages long, which is pretty significant, but that includes how to play, with the basic level, obviously, because this is obviously more than 40 pages. I mean, this is 216 right there. I don't know, it's probably 250 or more. Anyway, but they have quick start rules on Firelock Games site. Just look up War Stories, World War II, Firelock Games quick start, and you'll get right to it. And you can play a whole game right there. It's got maps, it's got character sheets, it's got like what I printed off here. I'll show you. It's got everything you need to do to play 4 players, a DM or GM, Game Master. And so that's pretty cool. But I did want to show you. So this was everything but the dice. So they had dice that have like little different faces on them, and grenades and other stuff, and a D10. So it's D10 and D6. So it's not D20 and D12s and D8s and all that, just the 2 different types of dice. And it basically, you're playing the allies, and all the baddies are the other guys. This just covers, I believe, actually, as I perused it, pretty much just West Front and pretty much Normandy. The base of the game cover, from the base, you can do anything. So this could be a set in the Pacific or in Russia or whatever, and they could put any special, additional things in there covering that particular theater. I think they cover a little bit about other, combatants in here, but these are where you can really get into it. So the Kickstarter, they have an all-in bundle which includes everything, including the dice, for $165. Or you can just buy the book. I should have looked if there were on PDF. So you get War Stories. If you want to buy just one thing, buy this. War Stories, World War II RPG, gives you everything you need to know. I like scenarios and stories like that, campaigns, so War Stories. This is basically Normandy and Carentan, and it's airdrop. So you're doing airborne. So it's very limited to what they've got right now, but it's cool. You can build anything out of it. That's the great thing about role-playing games. Also came with these cards, which are weapons and initiative, which I can go over, and then a small kind of not cardboard, but thick paper GM screen. So I got it really more out of curiosity, honestly, because World War II is obviously my thing. I play D&D with some friends. I don't run the games, I just play in them. It's fun, and I thought it would be a fun way to get some story ideas, campaigns, missions. You're always looking for that sort of thing. If you're playing Fistful of Lead, you could use this for Fistful of Lead scenarios. Very small, but you could. So let's just kind of see what it's about. Real basic. If you don't know World War II, it's not a problem. They are gonna, kind of walk you through the basics, the combatants, what's happening, give you a little bit more, maybe a little bit more detail. There's the special dice I was talking about there. So, grenades and targets, regular D10, and of course the regular markers here. I assume that's a 1 and a 6, I don't know. So obviously I don't want to show you every page. You can be characters, you can be a medic, weapon specialist, leaders, rifleman, scout, correspondent, partisan, and that's kind of the main people that you can be. Kind of I don't know, what would you call that, class, I guess, because everyone's human here. Life path, method of fluent, intellectual, academia, that kind of thing. Skills, so I just totally skipped that section. Infiltrate, insight, perception, that sort of thing. Kind of basic things. Specialization talents, heavy weapons, stamina, nimble, Lots of stuff here. I mean, and then there's combat. A lot of these pictures are from, many of these are from famous World War II photos, and they've kind of cartoonized them. I haven't read it. They do try to talk about, respect for the combatants, the history, also that it's a game. I don't know if you saw it, but there's stuff about inclusivity, right? So, if anyone can play it. So, anyway. So, basic combat. I couldn't even tell you how this stuff. You have suppressive fire, field of fire, protection saves, and all that. Suppressions. You have tanks. And so it's obviously going to be mainly West Front. There are some British stuff on here too, anti-tank guns. You'll have the Axis tanks, of course, because the DM will run those. Jeep, truck, motorbikes. Kind of cool, gives you a little bit of details about some of the tanks. So if you're unfamiliar, that's okay. You don't have to be a rivet counter, a tank head to do this. Just think of them as a monster, really. I mean, so then weapons. This is cool. I think this is neat to see that, all the different types of guns. They seem, these guys, I don't know, the people that created it, they care about the history. So they try to do as much as they can, but it's not a war game, right? So it's a little different, but it's cool. The machine guns. So all these things are represented, no, not all of them. Like the tanks aren't in these things, but all the handheld weapons, some of these weapons are represented in the cards, which is kind of nice to have. Gear details is kind of cool. Now, the cool thing about this is you could do research on the internet and find real pictures just like they did here, right? Of stuff. I think this is pretty cool. That's the first time I've seen that. Tells you what a guy took into battle, which is neat. So this would be fun to print this stuff up, and you could just have it sitting on the table, and it's real stuff. Random features. I mean, look at all this loot. So what you're finding, telling the story. Oh, this is cool. See, a lot of this I hadn't even seen. 40s lingo. Armored cow is canned milk. Ribbon happy. Impressed by someone's. What's that say? Impressed by your own accolades. Okay. Different kinds of things. Oh, miniatures. Okay, that's cool. Mass battles. See, like I said, there's not. So then the Liberation of the West talks a little bit about the West Front, and that's what it's going to feature. Combatants, the Axis, going to tell you what kind of characters you might come across. So then it's got an intro scenario, the tank, the villagers, mission briefing. I know in this other one you got a drop, and one thing I like about these missions, this one doesn't have one. So there's a sniper here, and I think that's what these, that's different. And the glossary. Tables and lists. I have not seen, I guess some of this is covered on the GM screen. Critical hit tables, hit on your body arm. So there's 10 different things. You roll a D10 about how, from a flesh wound to a severed artery. Head burst, oh geez, to lucky graze. Vehicle critical hits table. Lots of details here. It's fun. And then there's characters you can use that are pre-built. And then the epilogue. And an index, so that's cool. And an open game license. So that's the main rules. Then this is, to me, the fun stuff here. This is Rendezvous with Destiny, a campaign book, just getting into it. So you got 7 core missions, Normandy, running the campaign, lunar cycles, weather, random landing events. So when you're actually landing, mission introduction, then it's got the maps. The maps are drawn kind of like they were drawn back then, except for in color, and they probably weren't, but they would just hand draw the maps like this, like these things here. Probably not so much detail, but these are actually beach, Utah beach and stuff, so that's cool. And we are doing little beach landings. Saint Mary du Mont, all the town maps are real maps. Again, you could do this. You could find the map and kind of draw it out by hand if you wanted to. You may not do the watercoloring. That's kind of cool, but. And then this is a campaign, so it just gives you little missions to go on. The bridge, the wider battle, the German counterattack, the last mission, the Utah Omaha handshake, house to house random encounters. So pretty cool. Mission 2, and then I know they also have like random, like one-off missions, like little things, mini missions, hanging on the telephone, harassment. And then it's kind of cool. It does go into a little bit about how it's structured, like, what's a squad and how it works, what's a company. So you don't have to worry about knowing that. You can see it, and then you can give your people names. Player handouts. So these are the characters that you can use, or you can use anyone. So this is like the big campaign map. So here's Utah Beach, Omaha's over here, and St. Clair de Mont. There's Carrington. So watch Band of Brothers. You'll hear about a lot of this stuff here. So maps, pretty fun stuff here. And the thing I think is cool is this the airplane showing you the sticks. Office from Regimental Commander. So that's that. The cards are pretty self-explanatory. The initiative deck, is an initiative deck. It's got the numbers. And the guns, the weapons, just really good pictures. Show you all the stats, what they do, the real name. And then on the back, which I just discovered tonight, are just kind of the qualities, right? Some of the things. Rate of fire, bonuses, and all that. Got a lot there. Came in this nice box. You see the numbers of cards there. So, and then you got your DM screen. It's got all you need to know to run the game. Now, I gotta say, I'm a little bit like, whoa, not doing an attack, but it probably comes pretty straightforward when you do it. You got your combat modifiers, your critical hit tables, and all that there. And that is War Stories. Oh, I was going to show you. So these are the free characters, so you can go download this. But as you notice, they almost all look like this. Got your name, private, U.S., what it belongs to, who their buddy is. I'm sure that comes in. Virtues, flaws, their age, endurance, and you got all how you can mark your character, English, your strengths here, and the points you put into it, I guess. Get some penalties, if you start to get those impacts, and you got your weapons all listed there too, so you don't need the cards if you don't have it. No, you can just see it. I don't need to read it to you. I would probably, in this case, probably limit gear. I think, I like the fact that a lot of people don't limit gear in role-playing games. It's just a pain to keep over it. We're playing a game now, and Jay, our DM, is keeping track of it a little bit more, which is probably good. There's some level it's like, come on, dude. So it's kind of nice because it does force you to make choices. But I think it makes even more sense here because that's way more realistic. So you got to figure out, like, I think some guys found a cart in a game I saw played. You can see a couple live plays of this, live plays of this, and on tabletop, the old Beast of War guys, they do it. That's cool. And I think I've seen a couple other channels doing it. So if you want to see how it's played, you can do it see how it's played there. So I think, like I said, I think you'll be seeing a little bit more of this coming out from the kind of the traditional war gamers like myself, mini or board, as they go. It'll be a fun read. At a minimum, it'll be a fun read. I don't know if I'll play it, but we'll see. And if I do, well, I'll certainly talk about it. So that's War Stories by Firelock Games. I would recommend downloading it. Download the free thing. Take a look at it if you like it. I think they just got it. It's just completed, so I don't think they're going to be out of stock for a while. I'm just guessing. And you can see if you want it, and then of course you can pick it up if you want more details, or you can just pick up like just the book or just the campaign book. That'd be my recommendation. And thanks all, and we'll see y'all later. Bye. Thanks.